Hi, I'm Dick Gordon, CEO of Gordon Marketing. I've been with Gordon Marketing for 44 years, and I have some basic ideas on life insurance that Levon, our life manager, he likes, so he wanted to know if he could interview me today. So some of my answers are going to be about 40 years old, but they've held true for years. Levon Justice, manager of Life Division, Gordon Marketing.
Well, thanks, Dick. So I'm going to just get right to it, and I'm going to ask you a really simple question. Why is it important for people to own life insurance?
Life insurance, in my opinion, is probably the best place a person can possibly put their money. Now, why? Well, an example would be you could buy yourself a lot on a lake, as an example, and put your excess money into paying off that lot. Or you can put your excess money into trading cars every 4 years and watching it depreciate anywhere from $5,000 a year down to where it's worth about $2,500. Or you can put your money into let's say, a $500,000 life insurance policy, which most people hate to think of that because it don't have any romance to it. They can't see it, they can't touch it. But with life insurance, if you should die prematurely, let's say a $500,000 policy, we don't like to think of dying prematurely, but if you did, you're going to leave your wife and your children $500,000 of tax-free money so that they can continue to live the life that you've established for them. Otherwise, you might be forcing her to remarry just to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that lot you thought about buying at the lake, you got into some financial difficulties and couldn't make the payments. What happens? The bank repossesses it. You've lost it. What happens if you can't make the payments on that life insurance policy? Most policies, you can take a paid-up policy of a lesser amount, and you have a smaller amount of coverage, but you haven't lost anything. Let's say you live a normal life. With all the vitamins we take today, people are living, seems like forever. And you live to be 70, 75. You have the option of, in most policies, of cashing it out, adding it to your retirement, or when you do pass away, the proceeds are tax-free to your wife, children, or grandchildren. Could leave the proceeds to a church or a Boys and Girls Club. It's very flexible what you can do with your cash, not cash value, but the amount that you have left. Could be $500,000, could be less. Now, the thing that I love about this is three things. If you die prematurely, you've left all this money.
Okay.
If you have a financial difficulty as you go through life, you can take a paid-up policy and not lose anything. If you live your normal life expectancy, you have an additional sum of money for retirement, or you have an abundance of money to leave your loved ones. Do you see any way you could go wrong, Levon?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
That's what makes selling life insurance so exciting to me. I can't see any way a person can go wrong. Thank you very much for asking me that question.
Well, don't forget that. Sometimes we undervalue how important making sure that we just cover the basics. So thanks for that answer, Dick. So I'm going to turn the conversation a bit now to, the sales professional. And a lot of people that are in the business have some hesitation or fear about, bringing up the subject or how do I find a way to get that person who I want to be a customer of mine to engage me in a conversation. So a lot of times people have social events, whatnot. As you're, maybe enjoying some activities, not during your working hours, how have you turned those opportunities into appointments with those particular folks?
A lot of times there's somebody, most generally at a country club or at any birthday party or any basketball game, if you're meeting people for the first time, the subject will come up, what do you do? Or what did you do in your working years, or etc. I always humble myself a little bit and tell them, I've been in the insurance industry. It's one of the biggest industries in America. But there's one thing, don't get nervous. I'm not going to talk to you about life insurance. But if there's an opportunity sometime to visit with you when you do have time, I'd certainly be glad to talk to you. In this case, I know that if you're a professional, maybe the best time to visit with you would be at 5:30 in the afternoon after you're done working, or maybe going to lunch.
Okay.
We can go to lunch or what have you. But the thing that we have that makes us different than most companies or salesmen, we have about 100 different companies, and we can tailor the product for just exactly what you're looking for. And that's generally how I would handle it. I don't want to be pushy because I didn't come to the party to talk life insurance, so forgive me for even mentioning the fact that I'd like to talk to you later.
All right. So now let's imagine that that person has agreed to meet with you, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about the first 10 minutes, the small talk, and then how you transition from, the establishing that rapport and getting down to the reason that you're there.
Well, I have, in my years, I've sold a lot of life insurance, and the small talk, in my opinion, is more important than closing.
Why do you say that?
They say a good closer should know 100 closes if he wants to make big money, and if he only knows 4 or 5 closes, he's not going to make big money. But he's not going to buy from you until he trusts you. And if you talk to a person, you need to visit with them about themselves and their children and their hobbies, what have you. And it shouldn't be 5 minutes. You can't get a person to trust you in 5 minutes. I generally take 15 to 20 to 30 minutes. And you can tell by the expression on their face when they start to really trust you. I remember when I first started selling life insurance, I'd do my small talk and I'd start talking about going fishing in Canada because I loved that opportunity. And I'd pull out of my pocket a picture of me holding this long northern. Boy, that would get their attention, and that would bring them to your level. Uh-huh. And there's got to be some trust when you show a picture of you fishing and not just talking. And I used to talk about 4-H, and I married a gal that was once Amish. Boy, that would create that would, anytime you talk about something that is a little different. Uh-huh. I went back and seen a lot of these people 10 years later, and they'd say, how's that Amish wife coming? I'd say, well, she's coming good. She's bossed me good, and she's raising me right. But small talk is really important, and you can tell when they start laughing with you and talking with you. Now let's get down to business. And I'd lay my pen down, get my glasses out, put my glasses on, and I want to talk to you about something that's very, very, very important to your future. I don't want to take any bread and butter or salt and pepper off your kitchen table. But if I showed you an opportunity to deposit some money in an insurance plan with somewhere between $1,000 a month to $10,000 annually, would that be something that you'd be comfortable with, or would you be more comfortable if you liked what I'm going to show you? Would you be more comfortable with a lesser amount? Say $500 a month instead of $1,000. Get them to answer you. It would be foolish to try to present something that they said they couldn't afford. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people with big houses and big cars can't afford. A lot of people with little houses and little cars are the ones that can afford to put a lot of money in an insurance policy. So you need to qualify them on money.
All right.
And then go about your presentation.
Excellent. So you've made the proposal. We've all been there. There's yes, no, and maybe. How do you deal with the typical, the most common objections? I mean, I know there's, hundreds of them, but I think there's a few that come up more often than not.
Well, I think the one that comes up the most often is I want to think about it.
Uh-huh.
And all they're really telling you is, I need more information.
Okay.
That's
all right.
exactly what that means when they want to think about it. And give them a review of the presentation.
Okay.
And then you could say, now that you thoroughly understand what I've been talking about, would you feel comfortable with what I have shown you, or would twice that amount make you more comfortable? That generally gets a joke and a little laugh, but it breaks the fear of saying yes. Now, I know one thing. If I'm out looking to trade cars or to buy a pickup truck, and the salesman presents me all the facts about let's say a pickup truck.
Okay.
There's no better time to make a decision on a pickup truck than when the facts are fresh. Mm-hmm. And right now, the facts are never going to be any fresher with you regarding this plan than they are right now. Because if I leave today and you want to think about it, you'll forget 40% of the things I talked about. So while the facts are fresh, I think you would agree, this is the time to make this important decision. What's your Social Security number?
Dick, that is sales gold. I love it. And the body language and the cues that you make, the physical gestures that you make, they certainly led me more to just sitting here thinking about it. A positive response. Is that important in the close? The way that you maybe put that phrase at the end or make certain motions?
Well, if they flinch a little bit, you know that you need to give them more information.
Okay.
And more information. But a lot of times I've said, I need your Social Security number, and a lot of times the wife will get up and go get it, and he'll say, where are you going? She'll say, to get the Social Security card, it's in your billfold back on the dresser. Well, I haven't agreed to buy it yet. Well, I think you have, honey, so.
I love it. Dick, I always enjoy talking with you. I learned so much, and you're such a great inspiration. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And, hey, agents, talking to a person who's got the experience and the credentials in this industry, put some of these ideas to use in your business. I'm sure it'll make you money. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, and remember to sell, sell, sell.
Hey, thanks for supporting our YouTube channel. You help make it possible for me to feed my 4 children.
And my 4 children.
Thanks.